get to see that. Is that another Illin? It's another Illin.
I still think it's early for the mountain. I would drop Illin now.
Yeah,
and
Illin is going to do. He needs more time to do his work as well. So Illin is probably a really good call here.
But that's the big criticism people had of him when he was initially previewed, is having him come down and taking the turns to actually get his value back as a six-coster, kneeling to kill threes.
So but now he only costs the 1 gold. He's got 4 gold left. Duping him, obviously, taking care of reserves in such a way. Taking out the reducer.
It's to reduce the income. Counting Copper's early start puts you on the 2 gold plus 1 for the Rose Road. So 3 really tightens up your options.
You can only basically play the 1 character now. And we've got another drop, a 2-drop. Is that the Wilding Scouts he was considering probably? It's in front of his hand there. The
temptation is obviously there to hold back for the foot of the sword.
Yes, and just keep the money. He's got one of the bandmen in his hand, so he's got options. Keeping the money is probably a safe play. Keeping tithing really strong. Not that he needs it. There's nothing in that Tomas could set up with 3 gold that could actually threaten.
And that's something where we're really seeing Tywin be kind of the boss level character of second edition so far. Having him calculate the strength before any of the win by effects has been such a tremendous impact. Seeing him drop put to the sword time and again.
No, he's really one of those characters that is hard to deal. You have to deal with him, but you can't really play around it.
Yeah.
So
even with Milk, that's the other part of his resistance. He's still a 6-cost Tricon.
Exactly.
So definitely a power to be reckoned with. But I think in a very flavourful way. In that situation, having had him be that in the books for so long.
Absolutely. And he's one of those characters that should really affect the board state when he comes down. There are only a few of those characters if you look to the flavour, to the fluff of the story. So
that's our 2 Rangers.
Yeah. He's got 2 Rangers, so he can actually use the watches on the wall, and the Craven on.
Clearly, he does not feel lucky.
He doesn't feel like Ryback is going to fall into the trap, so he takes care of any problematic situation before it arises. And a bird for the draw.
So the wall is live, there's no characters ready to attack. Even if the burned men come down, we're still looking at a perfect ability to block them. So no icons available, but he's set up and he's going to be flowing from here. So with Illin on the board, would you actually look to go for the Maester plot? Are you looking to get your aim on?
No, since he can be killed and has to save himself in such a case, I'm not sure.
Like, you can't afford the risk of treachery right now.
Yeah, and that's and using the Maester Aemon plot to get him is a tempo loss. Really, it's a net tempo loss.
And I think treachery is really an enormous part of the Lannister game plan right now.
Yeah, they have that denial, that action denial, or trigger denial.
But we've seen so many powerful effects go on cards on the board. Where we had the first Herald of the Apocalypse when Miri came down and we were told that the game would never function ever again. Having that stop that, now having it stop the wall now that the Watch are relevant, so that 2 power swing being available there. Having it drop the saves, the Seastone Chair, the effects just never end.
No,
and I think treachery.
That's a sort of card in any card game when you can deny your opponent the ability to use his abilities. That's a card that's always going to be relevant.
And I think that's where we're seeing the balance in some ways, where people go for the reliable, repeatable effects on the characters, and it's in some ways allowing another chink in the Lannister armour of not always being able to afford the card space for the Hand's Judgment really take hold, because people want the kind of effects that treachery stops, which reduces the need for the Hand's Judgment, which keeps Lannisters as a force to be reckoned with.
And this is a beautiful design from the design team, that treachery cannot stop other events. So it is itself subject to the Hand's Judgment and such cards. So it's beautiful design, I think. And it obviously, Lannister is relevant as a banner on the merit of treachery itself, but again, card space. You have to pull 12 cards, so all decks can't run it. This is beautiful design to my mind.
You can stop some effects some of the time, can't stop all effects all of the time.
Exactly, and that's what a game like this should look like.
So we see Tomas jumping ahead. That 3 power, it's something that can get very sneaky because being able to jump from not even double digits into the win is something that's very easy, and it's something that you have to keep an eye out on, because I find myself with Lannisters having that kind of board position situation where you have the Ilan, you have the put to the sword. It can get very easy to get caught up in just dropping characters down. One thing we saw there actually with the challenges themselves is the power of the second player passing on challenges. Because there's no additional action window, you have the 4 gold wasted without having the opportunity to drop the burned men down.
You couldn't do anything with that gold.
And we see that people get caught out with that. Like I've seen the hounds not get a chance to be played and really wasting the opportunities.
Do you think Tomas is going fast here to drop the milk on Pain?
I think it's worth it, because we've already seen Ryvik try and keep him off income. With the 5 gold, it's less of a concern this time. So he's likely to start going for the bodies to stop him being able to throw challenges across the board. But Tomas doesn't need it, as long as he keeps the characters in control. And that's definitely there. And you can see there Ryvik saving up his confiscation, because right now he's happy enough with just the income and being able to stop this. Stabilize the board, start tossing it across the table.
And Ryvik is pulling in a ridiculous amount of money here. So that's 7. So who is hitting the board here? Is he?
It has to be Greg. With Tywin actually milked.
No, the only other option
Not milk,
was
Craven.
With Tywin Craven. The mountain is obviously interesting. I didn't see what he drew, so I was thinking
he's got
he might have
Illyrio.
drawn something.
So with the Magisterial Illyrio, there's a good build-up. There's an argument to be made for building up for next turn. Get Illyrio down this turn, confiscate the Craven off, and then go for the double renown challenges.
Or possibly using Ilan Pain twice.
Twice in the marshalling, keep the board nice and clean. Sponsored by Daz, extra white.
I wouldn't dismiss this out of hand, but he's going for the mountain here.
I think that there is time for Illyrio to come down. And right now, if you can start rolling
gold.
those dice.
He's got 4 golds. Is he dropping anything else now? No, why would he? There's nothing that
There's
he
nothing
needs
to
drop.
milk. He's got the nightmares. He's got the put to the sword. The options are plentiful.
Definitely. So now Tomas, I think he will milk Ilan Pain. He's got 2 milks. Why wouldn't he? He might even milk the mountain as well.
I think right now you try to milk Ilan Pain and try and get the Watcher on the Walls off on the mountain. Because you know the mountain is going to be coming and disrespecting your neighborhood, as some people might say.
It's what he does. It's very flavorful.
I always wonder about the art. People complain that there isn't people next to him for scale. But what if those people are next to him?
So here we see the milk hitting Ilan Pain to keep his guys alive. Will wants to breathe. He did die really early in the books, but he might look like he could stay at least until the challenges phase.
Well, Ilan Pain is really the sheriff of the game right now. In many ways, the decline of the Targaryen faction is something we have seen at the hands of Mr. Pain himself. He's really been keeping those dragons down. I'm not sure how many of them actually report for processing at the halls of justice to be beheaded by the King's Executioner, but he's been getting it done. That man can process on paperwork.
He's out and about. Now we did see a milk on Gregor anyway, which...
Was that necessary?
Like you said, that's probably... But again, Ryvik is sly. He might just keep the mountain standing. He triggers off of defense as well, so he's a good red defense as well.
But the mountain standing right now, Tomas does not need to throw any challenges.
No.
He can calmly, coolly, entirely without incident pass his challenges, grab the 2 power for the Winter Festival, grab the additional 2 for the wall, and the clock is on.
That's true. And all Ryvik is getting back is dominance, and that's just the 1 power.
And there's our friend Dolorous Ed appearing from the previous game.
And we've got Ari in hand for any whenever he gets his gold rolling in, if ever.
Because right now, Ilan Pain is really just there for the intrigue challenges.
He has no other use right now. So,
and likely won't for a while.
Yep.
Because with Magister Illyrio coming down, the confiscation priority target has to be Craven.
Yep.
It's getting that double renown back online.
Of course. Because he's, like you say, he's on the clock and he needs to get his tempo back. So we get a green challenge off of Le Pen. I can't imagine anything else, and it's going to be unopposed.
Unless he drops the dollar instead.
Oh yes, he had dollars in hand, right? Yeah, all right. So it's not at all unopposed, but he will be able to pull a card, right?
Still a win.
Yeah, still a win. Still a card.
Let's hope for nothing too important. Mm-hmm. Or, in your case, you probably support the local candidate.
Well, I have to say I really like this Night's Watch deck. I can't help but feel very drawn to it. But of course, Andreas is a great player and a great guy.
And a very local player, grew up just a stone's throw from here.
He's from here. He's one of the Varberg original players. So yeah.
So they built.
I really wouldn't mind any of these guys in the final. They're very deserving, both of them.
And that's always a fascinating element of the Road to Static events, is seeing the locals defend their tournaments. It's something I found so exciting at Battaglia por el Muro from the very first stage of it, when you had the players coming in and there was a decent balance between the invading hordes and the local Spanish meta, and then you watched all of the Spains get purged. It was absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
And they went through, and I think in the top 8 there was 2-3 Spaniards, and then just one in the top 4, and they managed to squeeze that through. And then we saw a whole streak go with the nations being unable to defend their championships. Where
that's been the case. So we have a challenge from
and
Tomas
we have a block
here.
with a put to the sword coming down,
and ooh.
That is a big loss, and that's a large body off the table.
And that means we've got. No, he'll still be able to defend the blue.
Well, there's no blue to defend because you got the Craven.
Oh yeah, he's Craven.
Were we wrong about Watcher on the Walls?
Possibly.
Was defending the intrigue? No, I think he still has it. It was.
Why didn't he use
it? It was a choice between Dollar's Head and the Watcher on the Wall, because I believe it's
of course it takes
event.
and it's it is, and he needs to kneel his.
So for the economy, it had to be a choice between the two.
Yeah.
But I think this was his real shot to take Greg out.
So I'm quite certain that we will have a. I think I saw a confiscation in Andreas'
there is a confiscation in there.
So at least one of these guys will be cleared of their attachments, and I think probably now. I don't think he can leave all three hampered like this, can he?
With confiscation, he is going to be getting 4 plus, and Tywin's money is going to be into 6 gold.
Yeah.
It's going to give him Illyrio options, but
exactly.
He won't be able to afford it straight away unless he has a King's Road or unless he gets another source of economy. So I think it has to come down to free up Tywin, because he's rapidly falling behind, and he has to enter the field of play. While Tomas's board is quite small.
Yeah.
Which might not last long now.
No, Tomas grabbed some money here for himself.
Okay,
Ilin. Interesting indeed.
I guess he's really felt the advantage from the put to the sword.
Yeah.
So now he's trying to force that through.
Yeah.
And
keep
get the board
tempo.
cleared.
Keep that tempo. And I would think that he would have to kill Will here in order to get a red unopposed. But then again, Tomas has not marshalled yet. Oh, Dollar said. Interesting. Well, of course, he didn't want to. If he kills Will, he needs to discard a card, and that could hurt him. All right, so we have something hitting the board, something Lannistery. The mountain for 3.
Mini mountain.
Actually, -2, so that's 1.
Mountain Junior.
Sorry. Yeah, the hound. Sorry. the younger one. All right, so we've got 5 more gold. Is that Illyrio? I can't
Surely you have to prepare him for some turn now.
Yeah. All right. So lots of money for Tomas here, and he's got somewhat of a hand.
Ryback once again holding on to the 5 gold.
Yeah.
This is some real Lannister terror tactics.
Yeah,
You've got a mountain of muscle,
yeah,
a mountain of gold, all looming at you.
Yep. And with Tywin standing, not being milked, so he's still relevant for renown. It makes it so that Tomas can't just charge in. He's still